Hello, so it's Thursday evening. Boris Johnson has just made his announcement and told us that we are able to open school for some of the children from Monday. We're really excited, so we've come down to do a video and show you what it's going to be like when you come back to school. So come inside. So we have got 6 groups of children coming back to school, and you are going to be in bubbles of no more than 15 children in one group, and at any one time there will be one adult looking after you. So you will see the same adults throughout your week, every single week, but only one at a time in school looking after you. It will always be the same children in your group, so you'll have loads of fun playing and learning with your friends. So when you come to school in the morning, you will come through the gate the same as you always used to. So hopefully your parents will have time to go and park up at the top car park, the Park and Stride car park, but they will need to walk you down to school because we won't have enough staff to do that. So we won't be running a walking bus to begin with. You can come and park in this car park if you're really short of time, but you just need to be really careful about where you're parking because it gets very busy out there, and try to make sure that you're not double parking anybody and you haven't parked out on the road outside anybody's house. So when you arrive at school in the morning, you have got 1 hour of time that you can come in. So you can arrive any time between 8:30 and 9:30 in the morning. It doesn't matter what time you can come at any point during that time, just like we used to do when we were over at Riverside, because that means that there'll be lots and lots of space for everybody to spread out and keep apart from each other when they need to. So if you are here early and you're waiting for the gate to open at 8:30, then you just need to make sure you use all of that lovely nature reserve and spread yourselves out so you're not all squashed in together. When you arrive on the first day, I'll be on the gate to welcome you, and the teachers who are going to be looking after you that day will be on the playground waiting for you. After that, there'll be a different adult on the gate every day. It won't always be me, because I'm going to be in a bubble with one of the groups of children, which means that I won't see the rest of you every day. But I am going to carry on doing assemblies, so you'll still see us on YouTube, even if you don't see us in person. So when you get to school, you'll come in through the gate, you'll say bye to whichever adult has dropped you off, and they will stay the other side of the gate. You come in through the gate, and if you've got a lunchbox or a snack with you, there'll be a lunchbox trolley here, and you can pop that on there. You don't need to wear your school uniform when you come back to school, because some of you will have grown out of your winter uniform and won't have had time to get summer uniform. And if you're wearing your own clothes, then it's much easier to make sure that you've had lovely clean clothes every day. So you come in through the gate, you can say good morning to whichever adult is there, and then you're going to go off to the room that you're going to be in. Don't worry if you don't know just yet which room you're going to be in, because the adults will be able to help you with that on the first day. But I can tell you that in the reception classroom, we are going to have Redwood 1. So remember, Redwood has been split into 2 groups, and the first group from Redwood are going to be in this classroom. Okay, you can stop it there. Redwood 2, you're going to be using the Year 2 classroom. So when you come through the gate in the morning, you can come in through this door and go into the classroom just there. If you are in Sycamore Group 2, you are going to be using the Year 1 classroom. So when you arrive in the morning, you'll come in through the gate and you can come in through your classroom door just here. If your classroom is downstairs, then you'll be able to spend lots of time doing your learning outside of your classroom. So if you are in Redwood 1, you'll have the lovely outdoor area just there. If you are in Sycamore 2, you will have this area outside the classroom that we've taped off for you. And if you are in Redwood 2, you will have this area here which we've taped off for you, which means that you've all got loads of space to do some really brilliant learning, but we can just make sure that we keep you apart from each other as we need to. If you are in Sycamore 1 or Maple class or our Woodland group, which is anybody who's coming to school from Oak class or Willow class or Birch class. We're going to call you our Woodland group. Then when you arrive at school in the morning, because your classroom is going to be upstairs, you're going to walk around from the adventure playground in through this way and up the stairs. Your first job every day when you get to school is going to be to give your hands a really good wash. And we are going to say that there are different toilet cubicles and different sinks for each group of children, for each one of our bubbles. And when you arrive on the first day, the adult who's looking after you will tell you which toilet cubicles to use if you need to go to the loo and which sinks to use when you need to wash your hands. We're going to wash our hands lots and lots of times throughout the day. And whenever you need to go to the toilet, wherever you might have been in the building at the time, you always need to come back to the toilet cubicle that will have the name of your group up on the cubicle to use. So your classrooms look pretty much the same as they did before, but because there are going to be less of you, what we've done is we've spread everything out in the room to give you lots and lots of space around each other. So on Monday morning, your teachers will come out and they will set out some different activities for you to do on each table. And for each table like this, if you are in one of our Redwood groups, then there'll be space for 2 children on each one of these tables to do their learning. And on each table, in every single room in the school, there's some hand sanitizer. So when you move from one activity onto another, you'll be able to clean your hands before you go. We're not going to open the school library, but we will have lovely boxes of books and reading books inside your classrooms that you can use, so you're not going to miss out on doing your reading. Sycamore 2, you're going to be in your normal Year 1 classroom, and you can see that your reading books are already ready for you over there, and there is a tray for each one of you that's got in it everything that you're going to need. A lovely new exercise book to carry on with the work that you've been doing at home. That will all stay in the same book together, and that will stay at school. You've got a whiteboard and a pen, you've got some Pritt stick, you've got a pencil to write with, you've got everything that you need to, and there will be 3 children sitting on each of these tables and 1 grown-up to look after you. Redwood 2, you have got a very exciting and lovely new space to try out. You are going to have a lend of our Year 2 classroom. So Mrs McNeely and Miss Colbeck and Mrs Johnson have bought lots of the activities and things from your classroom, and they'll be laying all of these out, so there's lots of things that you'll be able to get on with and do your playing and your learning in here for a change. And we're going to use the Year 2 desks, and we'll set those activities out on there for you to be able to do. Children who are in Sycamore 1, you are having a lend of our Year 3 classroom for now. So just the same as Sycamore 2 who are downstairs, we've set out the tables for you with space for 3 children to work at each table. So you've got loads of room and a tray in it with all of the things that you need. And then we'll keep this door open, and you've got the wonderful balcony area that you'll be able to use some of the time to help you with your learning as well. Woodland group, which is Oak class, Willow class and Birch class, you are going to have your home in the Birch classroom for now. And so you'll see we've set it out in just the same way. We've got trays ready for you with all of the things that you need, and you will have iPads and laptops ready for you to use as well, because you might need those to access some of the learning, because that might be different for each of you depending on which class you're normally in. And just the same as next door, we'll be able to open up the door, which is that side in this room, open up the door and let you out onto the balcony so that you can do some of your learning outside as well. Maple class, you will be in your own classroom, just where you belong. Mrs Nash has just had a little shuffle around of the tables for you, and in just the same way we'll spread you out so that you've got loads of room around you, and you'll have all of the things that you need ready for you on your tables. Please remember to bring your pencil cases back to school with you. Mrs. Brake is going to be in the office every day, but this door will be shut, okay? So if you bring the lunch register back or something like that, you can slide it underneath the door or just leave it outside and she will come and get it. If you have got some first aid and you need looking after, then you can knock on the door, or if it's a real emergency, as you could always be able to do, then you will be able to go inside if you need to. My office will be closed most of the time because I'm going to be looking after the children in one of the bubbles, and some of the time I might carry on doing my work at home. If I am at school, then unfortunately for now my grey office door will stay closed as well. And of course, if I'm in there, I would love to be able to wave to you through the window, but if you're in a different bubble to me, then you won't be able to come in and see me. We have bought, well, the Trust have bought for us actually, a special new machine for telling how clean your hands are. So what you do is you put the special glitter bug potion on your hands, you rub it in really carefully, you turn this on, you put them under the ultraviolet light, then you go and wash your hands and do it again, and it helps you to make sure that you've kept your hands really super clean, which is a great idea. So normally if your parents needed to talk to Mrs. Brake or anybody, then they would come into the office here. If they really need to do that, then they can, but it would be better if they could send an email or give us a phone call, or if they've got something that they can drop off, they can just drop it off in the lobby just there and then we'll pick it up, just to stop the number of people coming backwards and forwards. We're not going to be running early birds and evening owls just straight away when we open school. So these doors will stay shut and we won't be using the nest at the moment. We won't come into the hall for assembly straight away, but there will still be assembly, and it will be on YouTube just the same as it has been when you were doing your learning at home last half term. So you'll still have an assembly every day, but you'll be able to watch it with your group of friends in your classroom with the adult that's looking after you. So I'm going to do assembly at least twice a week. You'll see me. Mrs. Robertson is going to do at least one a week. Mr. Bavington is going to do one a week, and he's going to set you a PE challenge during that assembly, and then he's going to teach you PE in some of your afternoons when you come to school as well. So you'll still get your PE lessons, but you don't need to wear your PE kit. Just make sure you've got something on every day that you can be active in. And Mrs. Nash is going to do some science assemblies for us, which will be great fun. You'll also come to the hall when it's time for lunch, and the kitchen will be open, so you will be able to have a hot dinner if you would like one, or you'll be able to bring a packed lunch from home if you would like to do that too. And we are going to spread out the timings so that one group of children is eating in the hall all together at the same time. We'll wait for everybody to finish, then that group will go and play outside, and then it will be time for the next group to come in, which means there'll be plenty of space for everybody. At break times and lunch times, we've timetabled the space so that some days you'll be able to play on the sports playground and some days you'll be able to play on the adventure playground. Everybody in your bubble will stay together, so you'll have lunch all together, then when everybody's finished you'll come outside all together, and your adult will tell you whether it's the day to use the sports playground or whether it's the day to use the adventure playground. And you just need to remember that if you need to use the toilet when you're outside, all of the doors will be open, so you'll be able to go inside, and you just need to go back and use the cubicle which is labelled for your group. Sometimes at break time or lunchtime you'll be able to come and play on the adventure playground, and there will be one special box of equipment for each group that you can bring out with you and play with, and then put back in the box at the end and take it back to your classroom, so that is special and kept just for you. Now, one group of children will be able to play on the adventure frame every day, but only one group, because it needs to be cleaned really well at the end before the next group can use it the next day. So the adult who's looking after you will tell you whether or not it's your day to use the equipment. And on the day that it's not, you can find all kinds of other wonderful things to do and play outside. At the end of the day, when it's time for you to go home, we're going to do a staggered finish to your day so that your parents have got a 1 hour slot to come and pick you up. because that means that it's much easier to spread everybody out. We're not all in the space at the same time. So if your classroom is upstairs, you will come down the stairs, and some of you will stay on the sports playground on that side, and some of you will come round to the adventure playground on this side if your classroom was upstairs. If your classroom was downstairs, then you'll stay in your classroom just like you normally would. We'll open up the door, open up the gate there, and an adult will be standing on that gate the whole time, and then whichever grown-up is coming to collect you, and we're asking for just one grown-up. If your brothers and sisters need to come, that's fine, but just one grown-up from each family can come in then through the gate and come onto the playground and come and find you, pick you up and take you home. So we are really, really excited about seeing you back at school on Monday. I hope that you're really excited too. I hope this video has helped you to understand a little bit about what it's going to be like, and to realise that loads of the things are going to be the same. The most important things that are the same are that we've still got our beautiful new building. You've still got loads of your friends who you can see and play with and work with and talk to all of the time, and all of those lovely adults who work here who are going to be looking after you. There will be one person with you all of the time, and they'll be there to help you with your work, to read you stories, to play with you outside, to do all the sorts of things that we would normally do at school. So have a brilliant weekend, and we'll see you at school on Monday.